Hello and welcome to Training Tuesday, where we go through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. This week we are talking about empowerment through ownership, which is the number one thing I try and teach clients and the reason my business is named Empowered Achievers. So last week, in case you missed it, I ran a free training in Hustle Hive, which is my free Facebook community. And I ran a free training all about the top 5 most common mistakes I see millennial women making in their professional lives. And in that training, I highlighted a lot of good, juicy little nuggets. But one of the big ones that we talked about, this huge mistake that I often see, is this. I see a lot of women stepping out of empowerment and stepping out of ownership in their careers. So what that looks like is this. It is thinking of things that these people start to think that their career is happening to them as opposed to as a result of them, right? So they start to say things like, well, it's not my fault I didn't get that promotion. My boss said I didn't have enough experience managing people. So what can you do, right? And this kind of mentality is a bit of a victim mentality because it's acting as if things are happening to you. And when we're acting as if things are happening to us, we don't have a lot of ability to change, right? We don't have a lot of ownership over the situation. We don't have a lot of room to right the wrongs. So if we're saying, oh, well, we didn't get that promotion, it's not our fault. Well, in that situation, we can't do anything about it. And that doesn't feel very good. And so if you want to have a really remarkable career, if you want to have the kind of career that feels fulfilling and good to you and all of these important things, it starts with learning how to take ownership. In my humble opinion, it starts with taking a more empowered approach. And so I want to teach you how to do that. And so my tip this week is really I want you to, of course, always start by, I want you to, number one, ask yourself, is there anywhere in my career or professional life that maybe I am taking a bit of a backseat, where maybe I am not taking an empowered approach, where maybe I am not taking ownership of what's happening and I'm kind of saying stuff like, well, it's not my fault that happened, it was because of X, Y, Z. And if so, then I want you to ask yourself, number 2, how can I change my language? How can I start to change the way I talk about these things so I can naturally talk about it in a more empowered way? So maybe it's sitting down and asking myself, okay, well, what are the things about this that I can't affect? Because of course, we can't affect and impact all the things that happen to us. We can't control the world. We all know that by now. But we can control ourselves. And we can control, okay, well, if they said I didn't have enough management experience, maybe what can I do to try and show them that I am ready to do that? Maybe it's taking up a volunteer role on, an important project or an important team internally. And so those are the things I want you to think about, is I want you to ask yourself truthfully, am I taking an empowered approach in my career? Am I taking that ownership? And if not, what can I do to start to change my language, change the way I talk about these things so that I'm inherently thinking about it in a more empowered way? So that is my tip for you this week. Get started there. You can go watch the full training in Hustle Hive this week. And as I've announced, we're running another training tomorrow all about these really common challenges that I see with people and what you need to do to actually get more clarity within your career. So you can join us there, but in the meantime, try that on for size and happy working.